Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss about the selection process. Selection is the process by which the qualified applicants are offered the job by various tests into a predetermined numbers out of a large number of applicants. Recruitment is considered to be a positive process, whereas the selection is considered as a negative process, because under the selection process, some of the candidates are eliminated. So it is more or less like an elimination process, that the unqualified applicants or the applicants who are not up to the requirements of the jobs are eliminated. So selection is considered to be a negative process. Now coming to the definition of selection. Selection is the process by which the candidates for the employment are divided into two classes. The first one is that who are to be offered the job and those who are not. So the definition is, selection is the process by which the candidates of the employment are divided into two classes, those who are offered to the employment and those who are not. Now the selection procedures. In the selection procedures, there are 7 steps. The first one is the preliminary interview. The second one is the reviewing application or blank application form. The third is the selection test. Fourth is the employment interview. Fifth is the medical examination. Sixth is the reference check. And the last is the final selection or the appointment letter. So the first step, that is the preliminary interview. The objective of a preliminary interview is to ensure whether the candidate is physically and mentally fit for the job. Questions like personal information, education, qualification, experience, etc. will be asked in the preliminary interview. And those who are successful in the preliminary interview will be asked to fill the blank application form, which is the second step of the selection procedure. Second step is the blank application form. Application form is the printed form of the organization, and there will be different forms for different posts. While preparing the form, 2 things have to be kept in mind. These should include all the maximum possible information, and the second thing is, questions should be directly connected with the post. Then the third procedure is the selection test. Selection test helps the management to ensure the right person to the job. There are several types of selection tests, and some of the major tests which is used in the selection process are intelligence test, aptitude test, personality test, achievement test, simulation test, assessment test, and integrity test. So intelligence test. Intelligence test measures the learning as well as the mental ability of the candidate. The second one is the aptitude test. It measures the ability to learn any particular skill which is required for any particular post. Now the third is the personality test. Personality test is connected with the psychological factors of the candidate, and like integrity, honesty, sensitivity, sentiments, emotions, etc. will be measured in the personality test. Then the fourth is the achievement test. It will measure that how the candidate will perform under a particular work. It is also known as the work sample test. And the next is the simulation test. Under the simulation test, the candidates are measured in terms of how he or she will face certain problems in the workplace. The simulation test is mainly for the managerial roles. The next is the assessment test. In the assessment test, the candidates will be assessed in various areas. And the last is the integrity test. Integrity test will measure the integrity or the honesty of the candidate towards the company, employer, etc. And in the integrity test, there will be several yes or no questions are included. So these all are the tests, and this test will help the management to bring the right person for the job. Now the fourth step is the interview. Interview is the oral examination of the candidates, and there are several types of interviews, and 4 of the few major type of interview are structured interview, unstructured interview, panel interview, and stress interview. So first one is structured interview. Under the structured interview, the questions which is asked by the interviewer is planned and prepared well in advance. Whereas in unstructured interview, the questions which is asked by the interviewer is not prepared in advance. And the third is the panel interview. In the panel interview, the candidates are interviewed by a group of experts who are specialized in their respective field. Then the last one is the stress interview. Under the stress interview, the interviewer will deliberately create considerable amount of stress or strain to the candidate, and some of the method of creating the stress to the candidates are frequent interruptions, then criticizing the candidate's opinion, and maintaining silence for a long period of time, etc. are some of the methods of creating stress and strain among the candidates. So these all are the types of interview, and moving to the next step, that is the medical examination. Candidates who have passed all the above stages will be asked for the medical examination or the physical examination. So the major aims of the medical examination is that first one is to ensure whether the candidate is physically fit for the job, and the second is to protect the business organization from the infectious diseases, and the third is to check the excess expenditures on the treatment of the employees. So after passing the medical examination, we are moving to the next step of the selection procedures, that is the reference check. Once he passed the physical examination or medical examination, then the informations are collected. Then informations regarding the candidates are collected from those persons whose name is given in the reference column. And the informations related to his personality, his characters, his background, his social relations, etc. are collected in the reference check. And in the reference check, as usually the employer may contact his past employer or his friends or his teachers, etc. in order to collect the informations regarding the candidate. And the last step of the selection process is the final selection or the job or the appointment letter. So after the successfully clearing the medical examination and the reference check, the job offer is given to the candidate and the offer letter will be handed over. And if the candidate is accepting the job offer, then he becomes the employee of the company. So these all are the 7 steps of the selection procedures. Now I'm going to winding up my class. Thank you.